Bibi, still, I'm going to take you back to the clearance. As you're at your position, what do you think can we do in order not to have this late clearance? Because it normally affects us. We are not the problem. Mopsy, you apply the scholarship there, they award you. Now you are at the university, you want to register, you cannot register. But they will tell you, the one that are sponsoring you did not pay our money. And you, the students, are not the one that is responsible to pay the money. So I think the government should navigate between the university and the mohas or mopsi to make sure that students are not affected. Let the problem stop at the government level between them, because university is directly under under the government. Mopsi also is under the government. Mohas also the same thing. So what do you think can we do to avoid this? This is my third
Okay.
year, but every semester the same story.
So you don't want the president to
Yes,
occur again?
to hold
Okay.
again.
Thank you so much. For me, if I'm to answer that question based on my view, this is how I will say it. Like MOPSI have a specific number of students that they will award scholarship every year, and MOHAS the same. So in their budget, when they have that amount, the way forward that I will analyze things is let the payment be made directly to UTG account. Like if the government is to disburse the fund for MOHAS, let them remove along that amount
Directly.
directly to UTG. That will be the way I will analyze things. Yes, because maybe if the money should go to MOHAS, because they will have a scale of preference, which mean a list of things that they want to do based on priority. And maybe based on those things that they want to do, actually probably paying scholarship for the students might not be part of the top priority in that scale of preference that they have. So, and students also paying this tuition fee to the University of the Gambia is also going to be top in their scale of preference. So you see there is conflict there. So the government here to intervene between these two institutions, and they are all under the government. Let the government like, okay, Mohas, you are awarding 100 scholarship, for example. It amounts to this total. So we paying it direct to the University of the Gambia. Then I think that issue, as time goes on, the problem will be solved. And again, let them not be too ambitious. Yes, Mohas or MOPSI can be too ambitious that, okay, we want to award scholarship to 500 students. And obviously, you know very well that my budget can actually contain for, let's say, 150 students. So why go for the 500 just to have a good name? You can actually go for really the 500, the 150 or the 100 that you can really sponsor on time and they will not face any difficulties. Yeah, that is the other recommendation that I will give. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable, the High Excellency, the Vice President. So, Dr. Coming back to you, you've talked about, you are already aware about this School of Education that are enrolling both the in-services and the pre-services students. So, how is the School of Education, particularly the pre-service students, those of the students who are from grade 12? Because now that that is already there, we have seen students who are admitted into the School of Education from grade 12. Though one may not say that the School of Education is entirely a teachers centered school that enroll only teachers students from the Gambia College, those who pass through the college. So apart from teaching practice, what other modalities could the School of Education use to support these pre-services? Because you understand that the teaching practice is a very good mechanism that equip these people. I may agree with you. You said it very clearly that we cannot, wipe out teaching practice because, it may not be a misplaced priority because this can help the students, particularly those who are pre-service, who are never fortunate to be teachers, and the university is preparing them in the School of Education. So what other modality could be used to help these students to be in line apart from the teaching practice?
So, what we introduce and what is different in the School of Education this time around,
Okay,
and then a proposal was shared with colleagues
okay,
as far as the thinking is concerned. That is, for every lecturer
okay,
to incorporate office hours into their syllabus,
okay,
which implies it's not only the class meeting time that they will have interaction with their students, but officially let them dedicate block a specific time
Okay.
to address their student needs. And
Okay.
I think for these students, this category of students you're
The
talking
service.
about,
Yeah.
they can benefit a lot from that
Okay.
in terms of preparation, which means, as I said, it's a diverse community. One size fit all arrangement will do a disservice.
Okay.
There should be differentiation in method
Okay.
because we have a diverse community of learners, especially for this particular group, they deserve more attention. So, and I think the plan that we have will adequately assist them.
Okay. Thank you so much. The other question is also, if you look at the School of Education, of course, we are still talking about the quality education, building the students or the teachers' capacity, because the teachers, whatever they learn, the teachers in general are going to be the outcome, because once they leave the University of the Gambia, they have to be deployed in the various parts of the country to be teaching various subjects. So if you look at the School of Education, if I may not be wrong, the number of doctorate degree holders, PhD, and the number of student lecturers that are also having masters, the masters and the PhD, if you look at them, they are not commensurating. So don't you think this can affect the outcome of, because the qualification, let's say qualification is a key factor here. Is the qualification of the lecturers in the School of Education not affecting the outcome in terms of the quality education we want to achieve?
Well, let's go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Again, to the requirements.
Okay.
And I am happy to share this,
Okay.
that the School of Education have the capacity to deliver
Okay.
on its courses.
Okay.
Because the simple arrangement as far as university education is concerned, for you to lecture any level, you must attain a higher level degree.
Okay.
Which means for all our undergraduate programs,
Okay.
faculty are fully qualified
Okay.
to serve as instructors for those courses.
Okay.
So with that, we don't have an issue. And at the same time, if you look at our master's programs, we have at least 7 or now 8 faculty members with terminal degrees.
Okay. Okay.
So at the master's level, all instructors are terminal degree holders, in other words, PhD holders.
PhD holders.
Yes, so that is not an issue at the
Okay.
School of Education.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but at the undergraduate level, there are still lecturers that are not having PhD. Yeah, they are full time lecturers.
Yes,
So
but
don't you
again,
think, okay,
according to NACA requirement,
NACA requirement, they fulfill
yes,
the
they
requirement.
fulfill the requirement. And look at the mix. Some of us with terminal degrees are engaged at the undergraduate level.
Okay.
I teach educational administration and
Okay.
seminar and
Okay.
handle the academic writing last
Okay.
year.
Okay.
So we are engaged at every
Okay.
level.
And if you also look at the cultural studies, there's a course in the university called cultural studies in terms of the ranking.
Mhm.
So those of these lecturers who have in masters, they are not qualified to be called as lecturers. As this title, they give them assistant lecturer, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, because of that master. So I still want to start on that. Yeah, that is
Well,
where
well,
that is where I want to start.
in university setting,
Okay.
assistant lecturer is qualified to
Is
teach.
qualified to
That
handle the
is the
undergraduate
first.
students.
That is the
Okay.
no undergraduate. Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct,
Okay, so the
correct. That is the
university,
first
okay, they
position.
are accommodating both the doctorate and the
You're teaching
master's.
for you to have uh, the teaching license.
Okay,
At least you
the
must
minimum.
the
Okay,
minimum.
the minimum requirement
The
is master's.
is masters,
Okay,
and at the same time, the starting grade for you is assistant lecturer.
but to a certain extent, also you've seen students who are graduate assistant or the TS. Sometimes they are in the classroom. They may come in and be like, the lecturer is not around today, so I'll be
But that
handling
is
you.
not in our school, to my knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, it was happening though.
Yeah.
I know now it could
Now,
be very
it's not
motivated.
happening.
Yeah, we
It's not
have
happening.
TS.
Well, let me add. Let
Okay.
me add, and I think viewers will appreciate this.
Okay.
You see, we have a system in place,
Okay.
and remember, the university has a structure that governs and guides quality. There is Quality Assurance Directorate
No.
that oversees, no, in the University of the
Oh,
Gambia,
okay,
even
okay.
itself, that ensures that we maintain quality. Again, at our school, we have staff data that identifies the qualification and specialization of each staff. That guides our decision when it comes to course allocation, who handles what.
Okay.
So you can see it is data informed decision making.
Okay.
We
That
don't just
information.
assign,
Okay.
we look at the data to assign.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Doctor, still on the quality of education at the School of Education. Don't you think it affects us at the School of Education? The lecturers that have issue in other schools, and they now transfer them to education, or we
University
call them
education.
in our own crew in the university. We call them dumping place. They will come and dump them in our universities at the education, while they have been teaching in the other schools, but because of one issue or the other with the students, they move them
To
to
our
our
school.
school.
Well, I will not call it that dumping ground.
Okay. You'll not agree.
I don't know what reasons are responsible for that. Uh, and I believe it was done at a time when I am not here. But I think in our preparation for the new semester, we as faculty we sat down as far as how can we address these fundamental questions. How do we ensure that quality is sustained in our school? And as a school, we reflect on that and agreed on the way forward. This is what gave rise to us this recognizing office hours in our syllabus. Not only that, in our offering also, we again highlighted that it is important for us to promote active learning. That is also
Reflective.
another measure we've done. Some courses, by nature, how they are, in terms of delivery, that is also something we reflected on. You cannot teach academic writing in abstract terms.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the students that experience my class, they come with their computers, we do paraphrasing, we do in-text citation, and the like. That is the way forward as far as the School of Education is concerned. So efforts are on the way. I am not saying that there will not be faults, but definitely we've recognized the importance of quality education, and we are working towards that, or sustaining the gains that we've registered as far as quality is concerned.
So, Doctor, as far as to your knowledge, if you look at the trend of the education in the world globally, yeah, this is something that is very much common. So, I don't know how is the plan of the School of Education with regards to this usage of AI, that is the artificial intelligence, because we have seen some universities it is already incorporated. So, to your knowledge, is this are you initiating this program, or has it been happening before in your capacity as that is
For
this integration of AI, yeah, integration of AI into our curriculum as in the School of Education in particular? Yeah.
yes, AI, I believe, and I must be sincere,
Okay.
we did not factor that yet.
Okay.
But again, to ensure that there is academic honesty
Okay.
and integrity
Okay.
as far as the entire learning process is concerned, we've now ensured that accounts are created
Okay.
for faculty in the school,
Okay.
so that those who want to seize on this opportunity to use AI in their homework or whatever cheap way of learning, we can detect them
Okay.
and avoid that process.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are discouraging the use of AI?
Well, no,
The
it,
chat
let me
GPT.
say this.
Okay.
It can have good implications, but at the same time, it has downsides.
Downside.
Yes, downsides. So the downside for us to counteract, we've captured that aspect. So now the question is, do we have the capacity to integrate AI into the learning process?
Okay.
Perhaps what we can do, and this is part of our work plan going forward, is to
Okay.
identify areas of capacity building in the form of workshop for lecturers so that they are better prepared as far as this is concerned. Not only that, let me seize on this opportunity to also explain that there is thinking around instructional design and platform,
Okay.
which we don't have in our school, and in particular in the University of the Gambia. So we are thinking, how can we collaborate or partner with some agencies or institutions so that they can avail us those platforms. This is very important as far as we are thinking of active learning. Think about it. In a class meeting, all your assigned readings are in that platform with prompts. You engage students so that for every set of reading, that will compel them to engage the materials. It becomes an accountable measure.
Okay, quick one. If you look at students who graduate from the University of the Gambia to pursue their masters, some universities they'll clearly tell you that, whether you in any research, they'll even ask you to share your thesis. But in the University of the Gambia, particularly the School of Education, it's a different scenario. You do research method as a course. In fact, it is not even compulsory. Yeah, some students, if you wish, you do it. There are some educational courses that are compulsory, others are not compulsory. But in the masters you want to pursue, some universities will tell you, if you don't write thesis in your undergraduate level, you will not be admitted for this particular program. So, what is your take on that? In the School of Education, or is the School of Education having any plan to ensuring that research method as a subject becomes compulsory and students write thesis? Let it be a prerequisite before you convert a bachelor's degree.
So as we speak, and I explained this earlier,
Okay.
that part of the recommendations that we table uh, in our faculty meeting is for the formation of various committees.
Okay.
And one of them will deal with curriculum.
Curriculum. Okay.
And then I believe these are one of the things they will be tackling as they start their work.
Okay.
I am a keen supporter of research,
Research.
students being introduced to research, and then at least let them produce evidence of outcome. That is important. It will prepare them as they embark or plan to embark on graduate studies. Uh, what you are talking about, many face these problems. They
Exactly.
start their graduate programs, but the preparation is lacking
It's lacking.
as far as research skills is concerned.
Definitely.
So I think as a school, we can do better if we have that in our program going forward.
Okay. Thank you so much for the vice president. And also, we are still on the quality of education by building teachers' capacity, particularly School of Education. So, how is your office collaborating with the dean in the School of Education in terms of these remarking issues and grade issues? How is your office collaborating with them?
I must sincerely say this that this year, that is the tenure of the 14th Executive Council, we have not have any case of
Remarking.
yes, of either a student or group of students coming to lodge a complaint of a particular lecturer marking them down, and they believe that that's not fair. They have done better than that, because you only go to the office of dean when there is a complaint. Then you go there to see how best you can work things out with dean. If there is necessary for a remarking, then a remarking be done. But we have not received any complaint from any student throughout. I think we are left with only 2 months or so in office. So maybe before that we may receive complaint. But as it stands, since we are sworn in office, we have not received any complaint yet. So things, we say Alhamdulillah. Things, it means every student is satisfied with the grade or the marks that they are given by their lecturers. Because if they are not satisfied, they will come and complain to us, and then we will go and see how best to table out things with dean. But that have not happened so far. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Doctor, coming back to you, based on your experience and knowledge so far, as you talk about data informed decision. So the School of Education, the undergraduate program, you made mention that there are about 11 the School of Education is offering, including English language, mathematics, biology. So far the program the school have been producing, are they really solving the needs, the educational needs of students, out there in the Gambian schools? Because there are still some schools that there are lapses, they are lacking teachers in some other subjects. So is the School of Education, the program they're offering, is it definitely addressing these needs? And also the other one is going to be, do you have any other program that you may wish to introduce in the School of Education in the undergraduate degree level in addressing these educational needs?
Yeah. Thank you. Uh, I must say that the School of Education is contributing immensely towards quality education in the Gambia, especially for the secondary school system. That is a fact. But again, let's not lose sight of the fact that there are many other mediating factors that are responsible for quality education. So it's not one measure or yardstick for us to use. Think about it. Irrespective of how we prepare our teacher, sometimes the classroom size becomes a challenge for them. That attention that the learner deserves,
Okay.
does the teacher have the time to adequately serve that need of that student? That is a question. Again, let's look at numeracy and literacy. Irrespective of what the qualified teacher is doing, if there are lacks of sufficient learning materials, books, how can we achieve our targets as far as literacy is concerned? I think holistically, as a system, as stakeholders in the education system, as it was done in Ghana, we must flood the books into the system.
Okay.
That's a must.
Okay.
So the qualification is one, educational materials is another. Classroom size, how do we integrate technology to aid the learning process? I think as a system, we can do better. So these are all areas of opportunities that affects quality education. And I want to see a holistic approach to address all these complexities as far as our quest for quality education
So
is
currently,
concerned.
you are not having any plan to introduce new other subjects, because if you look at senior school, it composed of four main fields. You have the arts field, you have the science field, the commerce, and that of the technical. But one could say this: the School of Education in the University of the Gambia, in particular, they are addressing the needs of at least two fields. That is the arts and the sciences. The commerce field is still lacking.
Yes,
Yeah,
so that is how the education system is structured.
and to
But
that extent, okay, let me allow you to
let me
come
make
on
that
with that.
point.
Okay, all right.
If you look at how the education system was structured, that was how it was structured.
Okay.
But I think there is recognition that there is the need to revolve and
Yes.
restructure the entire system. And part of those thinking, it is what gave rise to this agenda to transform the Gambia College.
Gambia College into University.
That's
Okay.
right. So that
Okay.
all these stakeholders can be served. The programs or the courses or the subjects that are offered at the early childhood or primary level that are completely missing out. We have to develop new curriculum into the new system, into the new university system. Again, some programs such as physical or education
Yeah,
or
physical
sports,
education, sports, yes.
home
Home economics,
economics,
accounting,
you name it.
yeah, you name
We
it.
are missing all these programs into the system. Again, uh, it has been recognized that we must develop programs of that nature. So in the long term,
Okay,
all these missing pieces will
okay,
be on board.
okay, okay.
And again, at the university level, now for those who specialize in early childhood and primary education, we don't have tracks for them in the university system.
Okay, okay,
What we have, the track we have is for the secondary system.
okay,
So again, on our part at the university level, there is the need to develop curriculum for those in the system
okay,
and let them come on board.
okay,
But let's also recognize that most of them don't have the minimum requirement to be admitted into a university. So what can we do? The thinking is to have access or bridging programs for them. That way they can be on track to get into the university system.
The other question is the University of the Gambia School of Education really ready for quality education? Looking at the happenings currently on the ground.
We are ready.
Okay,
If you look at how we deconstructed what quality education is about,
okay,
the issue of access in our master's offerings is being dealt with.
okay,
What skills or strategies do they know, do they need as leaders to ensure that there is increase to access and then maintain enrollment, and so that there are bare minimum dropouts, and then we maintain the graduation rate.
The
We,
access you are talking about here, are you talking about access to material or the number of people that are admitting?
the admitting is part of quality
Okay,
education.
admitting the number.
Admitting is
Okay,
part of quality. You cannot say there is quality education in the country when many are left behind.
okay, when many are left behind.
Because let's go back. According to Professor Jean Francois, education is a mirror of society.
Okay,
Therefore, if we are talking about an education system and we don't see that in the society, there is no quality
the
education.
quantity matters
Yes.
based on what you are saying.
Yeah. Not only that, it's not uh, one angle to look at it.
Okay,
Again, curriculum comes into play.
exactly. Okay,
Curriculum comes into play. Teacher qualification come into play. And then equity. These are the four elements.
okay.
That is quality education.
And also a quick one: this Gambia College transforming into a university. Could one say that the School of Education in the university is going to be suspended, or the two things will be happening at the same time? The School of Education will still be enrolling students, and the Gambia College is also transformed into the university. Because if you look at the Gambia College, on a very serious note, they are not prepared for it. Looking at the human resource capacity, looking at the qualification, the number of doctors and the master's degree holders we have in the Gambia College, and that of the University School of Education, they are not commensurating, so they are not margin. They are highly unmatched. So,
Well, this cannot just be a button you switch off and
okay.
say
Yes.
that it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Let me share this information. There is a strategy paper how
Okay.
to go about it.
Okay.
That first phase is concluded.
Okay.
The second phase that is about to conclude is the implementation
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
That is concluded.
Okay.
And all these various committees did a very good job.
Okay.
So the issue of capacity, what do we need to do to ensure that there is capacity on the ground,
Yes.
is one of the questions that will
Yes.
be
Exactly.
adequately
Because
addressed.
that is the main thing here.
So again, I think we are prepared.
Okay.
I will say we are prepared as a committee to present what the facts are and what the findings are.
Okay.
And I believe those responsible for implementing will act accordingly to the best interest of the country.
And also, it is very sad to see this. Most of the students who are sponsored by the government of the Gambia, being it MOHAS, MOPSI, or even MRC on the Gambia, after doing HTC or PTC program, or after doing both PTC and HTC, and doing your degree program also, if you post these students in the provinces or other parts of the country, they will automatically refuse. They will say, I am not going. So that motivation there. So what can you say about that motivation as a factor? Because one could say probably is because of the motivation that these people are insisting that I am not going for postings. If you post somebody in Basel, the guy will be like, I am not going. And these are the graduates that can go to those schools and develop those kids. They cannot have that quality education if the qualified human resource capacity is not being deployed to people, those students out there. To a certain extent, we are even seeing that gap. Students in the urban areas or students in the campus, their performance, is not commensurating to that of the rural kids out there.
Yes, indeed. I would say the moment we make the option to join public service,
Okay.
we must be prepared to serve the public,
Okay.
irrespective of where they are.
Okay.
And teachers have been known for as servant leaders.
Okay.
Teachers build communities.
Okay.
I am an example of that.
Okay.
My primary school teacher left something in me. That's why I am who I am today.
Okay.
I am doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
That motivation is as a result of that teacher.
Okay.
I think we have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Sometimes we are short-sighted.
Okay.
We just think about what can we get, or we are not prepared to get out of our comfort zone.
Okay.
But as teachers, we must be prepared to
Okay.
serve society.
And based on what you said also quickly, this motivation probably by one of your teacher, as you said. Yeah, if you look at your track record, when I saw your bachelor's degree, it was accountancy, so an education administrator to a season education is also. So it's like your degree, your undergraduate, you did it in the school of BPA accountancy, and to a certain extent, the courses you do there, the departmental courses, are not in line with that of the educational courses. So how are you able to cope with this transformation from an accountant or probably an auditor to a seasoned administrator and educationist? You could
Well,
share that with us,
yes, I have a very interesting background.
Yeah.
But always, as I transition from one stage to another, I can always see synergy, connections as to what I am doing until where I ended up.
Okay.
But let me present this. For any terminal degree holder in a program is qualified to handle or teach in that area of study. Because this is what terminal degree or PhD programs encompasses. First, you are introduced to a coursework. And at the end of the coursework, you are subjected to write what is called comprehensive exams
Okay.
to demonstrate mastery of knowledge
Knowledge.
of the area. Now, after doing that, you embark on the process of research
Okay.
to write your proposal, which at some point you will defend. If you successfully defend that, now the actual research starts, data collection and all that not. After which you start writing the phase, you come back to defend your proposal. That is what it takes. Now to myself, I have an interdisciplinary background.
Being an accountant.
Being an accountant, and what change and what influence in what
Exactly.
matters. But I think it is also important to have that background because this world is complex. We need people with that background to understand things from different angles. When I did the accounting programs, I keep asking myself, I said, now here I am implementing things that have been budgeted for. Now, if I raise this payment voucher, it is acted upon. Am I sure this activity has achieved its objective? That's a puzzle I don't know. I said I cannot keep doing this. I must have answers to the end.
Could we clarify this raising of payment vouchers? What did you mean by that?
What I mean, for instance, if there is a need to effect a payment,
To effect a payment,
and then your head of institution asks you, the accountant, to prepare the payment for that activity. That is what it means.
Okay.
Yes. So at
are
the
you
end,
speaking on the basis of honesty here, or
no, 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 no. Let me finish. You will see where I'm getting at.
Okay.
Yes. So raising that payment voucher, what I am saying, once that payment is made, you, the accountant, cannot answer the question whether the intended purpose was achieved.
Okay.
Because you are not at the end of that spectrum, or you are not equipped to know that.
Or you are not on top of things.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Whatever.
Yes. So now, when I get the opportunity to go to Ohio University and do my master's in international studies focused on Africa, I wrote about the critical analysis of the attainment level of the MDGs.
Okay.
That is what I did. Now, when I did that program, one of the observations I made is that critical in achieving national goals is having the skills, the administrative skills to implement things.
Okay.
That is what led me to public administration. Now, when I did the master's in public administration, I realized that capacity building is a requisite to achieve national goals. And what is capacity building? It's education. That is why my in-house becomes education. So you can see the transition and what leads to what.
Okay, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we are almost running out of time. You may have one or two things to say before we wrap up the program.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor, and our able President of EDUSA and the gentle cameraman over there,
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Fine TV. Thank you all. Then this question goes to the doctor.
Okay, you want to ask me a final question?
Final question to the doctor. Doctor, as you are now in the office as the Dean of Education, and now the work started, at the end of the day, we all know everything have a time, one day you will go. So what are your plans, or what do you want to leave behind as your legacy? When your time finishes as the Dean of the Education?
Well, it's a question that still need reflection, as I just started. lay down my plans. And of course, what I want to see at the end of the day, as I mentioned, and this is in line with government priority and plans, that we should be able to deliver programs for those in the early childhood education, which we are missing is a gap. And of course, in the primary system. And how do we ensure that we also give chance to those who are in the system and cannot attain higher education? How can we have bridging programs? Again, hence we are offering undergraduate degree, masters. I would also love to see capacity in place so that at some point we can also have doctoral programs in our
PhD.
school.
Okay.
Yes, that is the wish.
Yeah, that is going to be a great thing because currently the school is only offering undergraduate and masters, so there is no doctorate degree program. Other schools are already on it. If I could be right, probably BBA and SAS. Yeah,
Mhm.
something like that. I think that is a good legacy and wish you all the best in achieving that.
Thank
So,
you.
to the vice principal, vice president of the education students, you may also have your final word on this before we wrap up the program.
Yeah, thank you so much. My final word that I will give will be more of a recommendation. As we know, education is developing
Okay.
and is going alongside with technology. Thank God we have the dean here. So, as the vice president of education student, I will wish let this thing be considered for some IT skills to be a requirement for at least each education student should have before graduating. So this means having at least a standard IT lab at School of Education. At least we have certain courses that might be also kind of like compulsory within the educational, the
Technology like
departmental
EdTech.
courses. Yes, at least we have it there, because I'm sorry to say this, but it's the reality. Sometimes you have some students that are actually in the University of the Gambia, and School of Education, that may have some difficulty in navigating with their computers and so on with certain things that they might want to do.
Even PowerPoint
Yes,
presentation.
it is a problem. And from here you are going to a senior school, so you might be lucky to go to that school. There are certain technological aspects that are in that school, and you cannot deliver, and they'll be, this one is just from the University of the Gambia. So that is something I will urge
Okay.
the dean to at least put it into consideration. Let's have a standard IT lab. At least we have some courses that will be compulsory for each student to make sure that you get those skills in you before you graduate. Yes, that will be something that I will recommend.
A recommendation from the Vice President, the integration of technology. School of Education, of course, are offering educational technology, but this course is more of a theoretical basis. I was fortunate to be part of the students who did the course last semester, but I can never remember that whether we did any practical. Yeah, it was a different story. So I think the dean is definitely going to put this into consideration because this has to do with educational technology. And if you look at the way the education is advancing, integrating technology is very necessary and key. So coming back to Doctor, as this is coming to mark the end of the program, and we are also glad to receiving you here. So you may also share your final words with us before we wrap up the program.
Yes, I want to take this moment to thank EDUSA for initiating these programs. I believe there should be continuous dialogue as far as the leadership of our school and students are concerned, so that we keep informing each other. Today's session, of course, I've learned a lot from their views, and they are well noted. For example, the last point that's been mentioned, the need for labs. Of course, there is the need for labs. Uh, for example, when I handled the academic writing, this was a constraint. And I have to ask students, I don't know how will you do it, but you must come with your laptops, because without that, we cannot effectively teach the class. Of course, a course like educational technology without a lab is a disservice. And I think as an institution, We have our oversight. I think these are some of the things we will engage our superiors as far as going forward is concerned. Again, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the invitation and thank our viewers for today's program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, viewers out there. This is Fan TV, EDUSA HOUR, which comes your way every Sunday. I'll use this opportunity to also thank Fan TV Gambia for always every Sunday giving their time, hosting this program. Others will still be amazed to know that they are offering these services for us for free. We are not paying anything. So I always say this: they are always socially responsible, always giving back to the society. The team for today's program was on the role of school of education in enhancing teachers' capacity for quality education, and the topic was definitely dealt with. There was justice, which was done to the topic by our able engineer, Dr. Hussein Saab, and the video is going to be shared as well. And we are definitely grateful for him accepting our invitation and being part of this program. We've learned a lot from you, Doctor. Definitely, we are definitely grateful, and we really learned a lot of things. And to our second guest also, Anna Manga, Her Excellency, and also thank you so much for coming. And to my co-host, thank you for coming. And the program was definitely a success. And until then, bye from us.